Set in a dystopian future where America has become a police state, 100 boys are selected to enter an annual contest where the winner will be awarded whatever he wants for the rest of his life. The game? To maintain a steady walking pace of 3 miles per hour without stopping. 3 warnings and they're out. Permanently. That's right, they walk or they die. Now, if that sounds like the premise of a young adult book series not unlike The Hunger Games, it may not surprise you to learn that The Long Walk is actually based on a Stephen King novel. One of the very first novels that he ever wrote, as a matter of fact. Plus, this adaptation was helmed by director Francis Lawrence, who previously directed the last 4 Hunger Games films, and is also set to helm the upcoming adaptation of Sunrise on the Reaping. But for as much as I enjoyed Lawrence's work on Catching Fire, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and even I Am Legend for that matter, this is definitely his best film to date. Though, to be fair, this is also his darkest movie to date. The Long Walk is an incredibly bleak, violent, depressing, and brutal film. That dour tone will admittedly not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you're able to sit through it, you'll also find that the movie is surprisingly beautiful. Because this is a very character driven story, which makes sense since the characters don't have much to do other than to walk and talk. And the more they talk with one another, the more you learn about them as individuals. So, given the film's subject matter, it's easy to see how their conversations can get profoundly insightful, which they do. And that makes plenty of character driven moments feel powerful, poignant, and even downright soulful. Unfortunately, this also makes the film harder to watch since you know you're getting attached to characters who are inevitably going to die. Though it is hard trying not to get attached to these characters, especially given how good the performances actually are. Cooper Hoffman does an excellent job of leading this film, easily delivering the best performance of his career so far. Here, he plays a character named Garrity, whose conviction makes him stand out against the other characters. Most of the other kids volunteer for the Long Walk just for the money, but Garrity volunteers due to a personal vendetta he has against the system. And that defining trait does provide his character with a fascinating sense of morality. David Johnson also plays a fascinatingly moral character named Peter McVries, whose compassionate and altruistic nature keeps the movie from feeling unbearably grim. So, while I was impressed with his performance in last year's Alien Romulus, I think Johnson delivered an even better performance here. Ben Wong is great as a confident and religious character named Hank Olson, leaving an impression that does last longer than his leading performance in Karate Kid Legends. Charlie Plummer is great as an antagonistic character named Gary Barkovich, Tut Nyout is solid as a character named Arthur, and everyone else in the cast is really good as well. But of course, Mark Hamill is terrific as a villainous character known only as the Major. Granted, the Major's character does get the least amount of fleshing out throughout the film, but I think he's supposed to be a metaphorical figure anyway, acting as a general stand-in for the military, totalitarianism, and authoritarian governments, among other things. And Mark Hamill has a perfect intimidating presence, especially since you can't not hear the Joker as the voice of who is terrorizing and taunting these young men. So, by featuring some truly fantastic performances and some undeniably strong themes about war, grief, capitalism, and life in general, this is definitely one of the best Stephen King adaptations of all time. And I know people said that about this year's Life of Chuck, but I personally enjoy this movie even better, though they are two completely different kind of movies. But since this is one of my favorite films of the year, The Long Walk would definitely get a recommendation from me. Now, I should note that this review was first posted on my website, davidthemovieguy.com, so if you want to know my thoughts early, or if you just don't want to listen to the annoying sound of my voice, you can feel free to head on over there. But be sure to let me know what you thought of The Long Walk, and as always, thanks for watching.